So my guest today is Kim McCaffrey-Noel. She made national news, not in a good way, in 2017. And on August 20th, she sent me a wonderful email talking about how she had turned her life around. And as we talked before, as we started these podcasts, we said we were going to do stories that had great interest in Volusia County. And not only is this a story about human interest, this is also a story about a human spirit and endeavor in overcoming what really could be an abyss in your life. So Kim, welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well. So we'll start off with talking about the situation in the email that led you to send the email. Can you talk about what happened in 2017?
In 2017, like, why did I get arrested?
Yeah,
or
what was going on at that night that video footage made national news?
Well, it was a friend and I. He was really supposed to be driving us to Lake County because it was my birthday and my tag was expired and I was like out of money, out of drugs. So we were supposed to be going to Lake County, and I actually went to sleep about 10 o'clock, and he just continued to drive me and my daughter around, and that's when we got arrested at the store.
And your daughter, by the way, is beautiful.
Thank you.
Met her outside. She was 8 months old at the time.
Yes.
She was in the car seat.
Yes.
And deputies, you guys were sleeping in the car.
Yes.
At a convenience store, if I remember.
Yeah.
And the deputies came up and you guys woke up. And then I think you guys were charged with...
I was charged with felony child neglect and possession of paraphernalia for a drug bag I had in my pocket. And of course, DCF stepped in and you know, took my daughter into their custody. So most people don't understand what addiction is like. So for the folks out there who, you know, don't understand and how those folks can help, you know, through financial means, we'll get into where you work and the programs that are out there. Can you talk about what it was like? I think meth was your... That was my latest drug addiction when I finally got clean. It's really hard to explain addiction, you know, unless you're in it. Like for me, it was like, it's like an argument in your head every day. Like, you know, like for me, I'm like, I know I don't want to do this anymore. And but I couldn't stop myself.
Sure.
Like no matter what, like no matter whether I had family support or not, like your kids don't stop you from getting high. Like nothing except for yourself can stop you. But that's what it was like towards the end when I knew like I didn't want to keep getting high, but I just couldn't not get high. Like it was just like an argument every day. How
old were you, would you say, when you started experimenting with either alcohol or drugs?
I was young. I think the first time I drank alcohol, I was like 13. And then a year later, it started with marijuana. And then it just went from there. You know, marijuana, ecstasy. Then I got clean for a little while. I started with opiates. And I got clean. And then remember like in 2009, 2010, there was like the pill mills going on.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And I was going down south and getting prescriptions, and I was selling it, you know, to make a means. And then, you know, and then there I was doing them. And so it just, you know, it started at a young age for me.
How did getting arrested impact your life?
You know, when I got arrested at first, of course, anybody who gets arrested is mad. But I thank God for that arrest all the time, because that was the first step of me changing my life. I mean, when I got arrested in 2017, I signed 3 years probation, and then I was released, but the backlash from all over the U.S., like, I mean, I had Facebook messages, I had comments, you know, and never watching the arrest video until, you know, 10 days ago.
Which is pretty incredible that you never watched it until that point.
I couldn't, yeah. And then I just felt like, even my husband was like, I don't think you should watch this. I'm like, no, like I can handle it at this point. Back then I couldn't. But the backlash from the community and like my family was done with me. They were just over my crap after so many years. And then, you know, DCF removing not just the 8-month-old, all my kids. They took all my kids. So I didn't know how to deal with that properly. So I think I was out for like 3 days and I relapsed. And then,
really?
Yeah, I relapsed. I checked into a probation the first month, failed the UA. So she, you know, I knew they were issuing a warrant. and then I absconded for like about 4 months. So then I got rearrested, and I thought to myself, you know, they're going to reinstate me because it was just a failed UA, and no, they were like offered me a year and a day in prison or to do drug court. So I did drug court.
Talk about that, because I have to tell you, I come into contact with a lot of folks who go through that program, and it seems that the overwhelming majority of them are able to turn their life around. Talk about the program. And
it's a really it's a rigorous program. Like, I mean, you're not getting away with anything.
Can you talk about, because and the reason I'm asking is I have a parent who's contacted me, and that's what they want. They want their son arrested for what's occurring, stealing and everything. Yeah. But that's what they're asking. They're going to ask for is drug court. So can you explain what?
Yeah. So when you're in drug court, there's 4 phases. When you're in phase 1, you have 4 groups a week. You have to attend NA, AA, or church, some type of outreach, and you have to provide proof that you do that. You go to court once a week. That lasts for a month, and then you move into phase 2. Each phase you move into, it's the less groups you have. So the program is an average of 10 to 12 months, but when people like mess up or fail a UA, they have to start back to phase 1. I was able to finish it 2 days shy of a year.
Okay.
But but I had my mind made up already that I was going to do it.
Well, that leads me to my next question. What was there a certain point in time where you said, okay, this is it. I have to, for the sake of my family and my children, because I think in your email was very touching. That clearly your children played a huge role in you making this journey. Yeah,
because so when I got rearrested after the viral arrest. I don't know, you know, somebody else asked me. For me, it was just like a switch in my head. Like, there was no doubt about it. I was going to do it this time, you know, because at that point, my family turned their back on me. I had no family support. You know, my kids were, you know, in other people's custody, and I was like, man, I'm not getting any younger, you know. It's like now or never. That's what I put in my head. It's like,
well, in a later thing, I just want to let you know we have a little bit in common. Because I get hateful emails from around the country a lot of times too. So don't feel, you know, that you're kind of special, because I get hateful emails when we do things all the time. You talked about the video a little bit, and I had talked to my staff when about the email, and I said, I think you sending me the email that you sent, that beautiful email, and watching that video, I think that was part of your recovery. And I don't know if I'm overstating.
No, I agree. Yeah, that was. It's like I said, I never watched it, and then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is not the last time Sheriff's Office is going to hear from me. I'm like, I need to give him an update.
And we are so glad, as you could tell when we posted it on Facebook, that thing just went
it did.
wildfire.
It went crazy, yeah.
I thought it would be good. I didn't think it would be as well as it was received. And, you know, we're huge supporters of Stuart Markman. I told your story at the banquet the other night.
Oh.
We donated $25,000 to Stuart Markman for their annual fundraiser. I talked about you, and you were the impetus behind that. Volusia Recovery Alliance, we work very strongly with them, because I don't think there's a family in America that can honestly say that addiction doesn't touch them. No,
I agree with that. Actually, we have a girl who rents the office next door. She works with the Volusia Recovery Alliance. So we rent her an office, and she does some outreach for us. But, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. And then sometimes, like for me, related to addiction, sometimes it takes a community and their agencies to help save an addict. And that's what happened with me. Between the Sheriff's Office, the drug court program, which Stuart Marchman's involved with that, DCF and CPC, it was just like, you know, it was a group effort. Like, all those people helped me save my life.
And now that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. That's the hope that when people watch this, that they will show this video to their family member or their loved one and say, look at what Kim went through, the hell that she went through. Look at where she is now. You can do this. Yeah. You can do this.
Yeah, my dad called me crying last week after the news broadcast. I'm sure the first one in 2017, he was cussing me out. Yeah. So this one, he called me crying.
Dads have that tendency to do that.
Yeah.
.911, where's your emergency?
Between every crisis and every first responder is a 911 operator. No two emergencies are alike, and our highly trained 911 public safety telecommunications professionals use their critical thinking and decision-making skills to get the right personnel on scene. As a valuable member of our team, you will earn a competitive salary and outstanding benefits, plus the satisfaction helping others and making a difference in your community. Are you ready to answer the call?
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I'm Savannah Jane Griffin. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Neighborhood Center here in West Volusia.
And I'm Waylon Neese, the Chief Operating Officer of the Neighborhood Center of West Volusia.
Part of our mission is feeding the hungry, and so we have a food pantry here that feeds many people. They come and pick up food daily. We're looking for food donations, so if you have any non-perishable items or produce that you'd like to come and donate, we encourage you to come over. We also feed individuals lunch and dinner daily here at our Bridge shelter, and so if you're interested in donating food to serve meals to or potentially volunteering in our food pantry and in our shelter, we are always looking for volunteers.
Another part of our mission is to prevent homelessness and to house the homeless, and we offer a wide variety of resources and funding opportunities to help people stay in their homes, such as rental assistance and utility assistance. We have two shelters, the Bridge shelter and our regular shelter, and then we also have over 60 units in the community in which we house over 200 residents nightly in Volusia County. We could use all of the support in maintaining these homes and acquiring new affordable housing.
So it was good, you know, it's just nice after all these years to have my family back in my life. Because I would get clean and then I would relapse, so they didn't have faith in me. They like let years go by before they decided, okay.
So a good assumption is you're in a good spot with you and your family.
Oh yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Really good spot. That is so good to hear, because, you know, in Volusia County we're averaging over 300 deaths a year from overdoses and 10 times that amount of overdoses. So there are a lot of people in the situation that you were in who, for some reason, they may not have it internally or whatever, they just can't make that crossover that you did. So I really admire what you're doing. Now you're working here at the Neighborhood Center in DeLand. Can you tell folks what goes on here and what your role is?
Yeah, so I started off working in the thrift store. Now I work at the Bridge shelter. I started off, you know, running the front desk, and now I'm the lead shelter coordinator. So I oversee the other coordinators and their operations with the clients. And we only have one case manager right now, so I try to assist her with case management. You know, just simple things if they need to apply for food stamps or go get their ID or, you know, whatever they might need on a daily basis. But we were telling you earlier, or maybe we were telling you, Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's called Mercy Hour. So we let the outside homeless community come in and take showers, and they get free haircuts. They can go in the lunchroom and have like coffee and snacks, you know, and then the church groups are in there volunteering, and they do prayer requests and, you know, pray over people. And so
I got a question for you that came. This was asked of me multiple times. When you talk to Kim, ask her, what were her secrets to sticking to her recovery, number one, and what advice do you would give for others who look at you as an inspiration?
For me, for my recovery, one of the most important things was like cutting off those old contacts. With recovery, they say people, places, and things, and that's so true. Like, I mean, I have a best friend who's now 60 days clean, thank you, Lord. But this whole time has went by where I can't talk to her. You know, I can't be around her. So for me, that's the biggest thing, is avoiding people that I used to use with and places. And
how about the second part of that question, which I completely forgot because I was understanding what you were saying there. What advice would you have for others who might look to you as an inspiration? What would you tell them?
It's kind of a tough question.
Okay, that's it. Hey, listen,
There's so many things I could say, like, but it's like if people only get clean when they want to get clean.
That this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah, like they have to fight their way out. Nobody can do it for you. Like, you have to want it.
So clearly, you want it.
Yeah.
You know, you know, like I said in that email, you spoke lovingly about your children and how much of a role they played in you making this decision. But where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you looking to do? I know we talked a little bit before we went on camera.
In 5 years, I would really like, well, first I want to go into case management, you know, so I can, like, through the shelter, so I can help people get back on their feet. I just want to do what I'm doing. I just want to help people. You know, now that I'm up here, I want to reach my hand down and lift them up.
I don't know if I'm allowed to pray on my own podcast, but amen. Amen to what you're saying there. Because I know I've been doing this for 35 years, and your voice is so much more powerful than anything law enforcement or any judge or any prosecutor or any parent can say, because you've been there.
Yeah.
And when people who have been where you've been look in your eyes, they know that. They know the sincerity, they know the passion and the commitment that you have. Hey, I was there, and if I can reach down and help you up, I think that is an incredible, I think that's the inspiration, the answer to that question.
Yeah, anybody that walks through that door, I don't care if they're homeless, dirty, or if they pulled up in a brand new car, I treat them all the same. Like, they're all equal to me.
Well,
I don't care if they need a pair of socks, you know, I'm hungry, they miss lunch, whatever they need, I'm going to go get it, because I've been there.
I think you have an incredible story to tell. I think you're an incredible human being. To fight to get to this point says so much about the character of who and what you are, that it's easy to lay down when you're knocked down. It's really hard to get back up and dust yourself off and climb back in the arena.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And you're in there.
That's not me. I'm always going to get back up.
You're
and
in
then
there.
that's when I said I watched that video. It's like, oh, this is not the last that they heard from me.
And I am glad that you sent that email. I tell you, because sometimes it's much trepidation. I click to read it, and I clicked it on. I guess it was Sunday night when I clicked on it, and I read it, and then I reread it, and then I sent it out to my staff, and I sent it to my public information officer, and said, look, she's not asking for anything here. She's just sending us an email. Let's post this and let's get with her and touch base with her, because I think your story can save somebody's life out there.
Yeah, well, and then I thank you too, because when I sent the email, I'm like, he's not going to read it. I was like,
You'll be surprised. Every once in a while I do open
but then it turned into like something huge, and I was like, this is great. Yeah,
it is.
I wasn't expecting that.
And I think, you know, people learn more about the resources that are out there, because a lot of the questions I always get from family members is, where do I go? And when we don't have the answers. You know, this is my first time into this wonderful center, and obviously we're going to show everybody a tour of it and the incredible people that are working here. So is there anything that you would like to tell the folks watching this before we sign off?
No.
No? Well, this is Sheriff Chitwood. I'm going to sign off with Kim. This is our second podcast for Chit Chat. I hope that you find it informative, and for any family that is fighting addiction, please watch this. This is an incredible story from an incredible woman and a great mom. And there's somebody out there we may save a life or two, and that's the whole impetus behind this. So let us know how we're doing, and we'll try to keep topics like this coming toward you.